Right. Hello. Oh, there's deep purple there. Yeah, I'm Jordan, and I'm basically going to tell you about Commodore Mandeville and the Revenge of the Martians, a British adventure of space strategy and guns. I'm telling you this because I'm basically not going to work on this project anymore, just because of work, university stuff, and I just don't really have the time. But I do think it's a pretty damn cool project, and basically because it's a long file to download and I want to put this on my portfolio, I'm just going to give you a little walkthrough through it. Tea is cold. So, before ado is in any way furthered, I'm going to jump into a skirmish and show you what this game is like. It's basically a strategy game. Imagine something like Battlefleet Gothic, but three-dimensional space like Homeworld, tall ship combat, customizable ships, all that stuff. Right, I'm going to do a massive battle. Excuse the bad menus. I sort of put this in the last few days before I went to university for my third year. So I just didn't really have much time. So, right, we're going to have 40,000 quid for the Royal Navy and a big Martian armada. One of the things we can do, we can generate the space box of a map. I am going to go, let's go with a... Let's generate some sort of special system. It'll have some special background features in it, and it's mainly just all aesthetic, but it's kind of interesting. So we'll go ahead and continue. I like going against a capital phalanx. So basically what we can do is change the randomly generated formation of Martian ships that we're going to be against. Fighter screens, lots of fighters. Corvette formation, fighters and frigates. Frigate line, frigates and cruisers. Capital phalanx, we've basically got cruisers and battleships. Battleships, we have just got battleships. Let's plonk in a capital phalanx. Basically because... I don't know. I kind of want to show off the big units, so we're going to go. Yeah, we'll go against some big things. Do we? No, let's go frigate line. I just want to. Right, we need to design a fleet. So we play as the Royal Navy. The Royal Navy is basically the Royal Galactic Navy, and we are great big Huffington steampunk things where the Victorians went into space using hijacked Martian technology. But we need to design our ships. So we're going to start off with kind of like a destroyer type vessel, I think. So, we're going to have a small ship, torpedoes on the front. So we go for a light bow. Down here, we will mount torpedo launcher. That is a special ability weapon. Special ability weapons basically don't fire automatically. What it does is it gives your ship an ability. You'll see that on the hotbar. And you'll have to click that weapon, you assume manual control over it, and then you fire the weapon using skill shots, basically. Whereas on the other hand, if we were to, say, put on a macro turret, that vessel... So, all turrets can be manually controlled, but that's an auto-firing turret. It works by itself. So we're going to put that on. We're also going to put on a special ability that only combat ships have, which is to basically put on a funnel. What a funnel does is it gives you essentially a taunt ability. So ships are all flying around, you can go vroom and put a load of steam out the funnel, and what it does, it attracts and draws the fire of the nearby Martians. And it's basically a way of drawing fire away from your weaker ships, like your science vessels. So anyway, we have got a very cheap little ship here, we'll just call it Destroyer. No, that's not how you spell. Or something like that. Confirm. Fleet manager. And there's our ship. Little thing. Oh, hang on. We actually need to give it a better weapon. We'll give it a weapon there as well. No, actually, let's give it a railgun. Now, the railgun, slightly more expensive, but has good accuracy on it. Basically, it's just better against fighters, corvettes, things like that. Cool. Confirm ship again. Now let's build a bigger ship. So we're going to start with the cruiser command module. We're going to put on a broadside combat module. And we're going to put on another. And then we're going to put on the artillery bow. And of course the standard propulsion module. All ships have got to have a propulsion module, otherwise they can't move. The game just won't let you build them without one. So you see that? Right, what we can put on the side is a broadside battery. And basically, small cone of fire, but can deliver a lot of damage, but you've got to be facing the ship in a certain way to do it. Pretty inaccurate, can only target certain vessels. An interesting thing to bring up about the targeting in this game is that all the weapons which you don't manually control, they auto-target. However, they have an inbuilt AI which will automatically determine the best target to shoot at. So pretty much your small railguns are going to be prioritizing fighters and corvettes, whereas your big macro batteries on the side, they won't actually be targeting the small vessels. They'll be going, oh look, there's a cruiser we've just pulled up aside. We're going to fire and shoot at that because that's what we're good against. You're firing big projectiles at a high degree of spread, and all the physics simulation is done in real time. So it's like, but it's just a logical weapon to use. It's what makes sense. So we're going to put those on the side. On the front, we will put a big 18-inch gun, because we like those. We can do that because we just built a big ship. Once again, we'll put a torpedo launcher on the top. Way to draw their fire. We can also put on tiny little auxiliary railguns. These are just to kind of like spend a little bit more of your money. They prioritize fighter craft, and if there are no fighter craft, it will seek out larger targets, but they do piddly little bits of damage. As you see down there, that is an in-development texture, which I'm just not going to get rid of for now. It's stolen from the id Tech 3 game, Night Jedi Academy. But as you can see, it deals 10 damage per shell, 2 shells per shot. 2 is the salvo size. The salvo size is basically how many shells it can store up before the gun fires. So it'll load 2 shells. Once it goes into range, it will fire 2. But once it stays in range, it will just keep firing the 1 that it's got. So it basically gives you a way to save up shells and lets you do tactical decisions. It's the same can be said for the broadside cannons. Like I said, there we go. Salvo size 2. If it can't find a target, it will just keep loading up until it reaches 2 salvos. Once it can see someone, it will go bang, bang. And it basically means that you can do tactical decisions like fire 1 broadside for full effect. Once the other side is fully loaded, you can then do a high energy turn, flip around, and then fire the other one. It's it allows for greater, better plays, pretty much. Yeah, there we go. And then we will just put on the rest of the guns that we need. We're just going to do some basic guns, pretty much. Nip. It's B. There we go. A little bit funny sometimes. Okay, this is pretty good, and we will call it something like the Ark Royal. All the music for this game is custom composed. It's all. It is all something that my friend Jack Connor, who does music at Bath Spa, has been working on. Let's build a science ship now. Science ships have more special abilities. They can do 2 specific things, and they have 2 special weapons. So, one of the weapons they have is the prototype heat ray. So, humans have nicked that from the Martians, and, well, look, there we go. There is prototype heat ray. It's one of the special weapons, like a torpedo launcher, in which you have to take manual control over it. What you do, you take manual control, you then right-click a target to lock onto it, or you can left-click and just assume manual control of the beam. Left-click would fire the weapon, you hold down left-click, or you can right-click and you say, "Oi, weapon, I want you to target this ship," and it'll do that, and it will just keep firing whilst it's in range and whilst it's actually got weapon energy. We have got multiple different kinds of damage types in this game. So the damage types are, you've got kinetic weapons, you've got thermal weapons, like the heat ray, you have got energy weapons, which the Martians have, they are very good at absolving shields, and you've also got ramming and explosions. Ramming explosions, things like torpedoes, and also you can physically ram your ships, and we've got physics simulation and proportional damage. And modules have something called hardness, so say if you were to actually ram them with the bow of your ship, which is reinforced, something that combat ships have, you would deal more damage than save you to ram them with the side of your ship, because that just makes sense. You'd also inflict less damage on yourself. And of course the damage is proportional to the change in impulse of, well, not change, the impulse of the collision. So we're going to do that. We're going to plonk on prototype human heat rays, and we're also going to put on something called the shield ray. And the shield ray is a special support thing, which essentially allows you to transfer the shield energy of a science vessel to the shield energy of a combat vessel. The idea is that you can have a science ship, which is kind of hanging behind, but behind the front lines. It has the ability to divert power to its shield in its power matrix. That's another thing I should bring up in the game. You can divert energy to different systems of your ship. So you could divert power to shields, you can then transfer that energy via the shield ray to a frontline ship, and therefore keep it in the fight longer. And yeah, let us put on a small science module and the science bow. So we go and put on the... Let's put another prototype heat ray, and let's just fill this thing up with heat rays. Now, heat rays are absolutely crap against shields, but they're really good against hulls. So once you get once your main combat ships get the shields of an enemy down with their kinetic weapons and actually being in the brawl, what you can do is then go, right, come in for the kill with a science ship, divert power to heat rays, put all your heat rays on the enemy ship, and then just melt it in one go once the shields are down. And I don't know, what should we call this? Science vessel. Oh, Boater McBoatface. Yes. That is a great name, isn't it? And yeah, there we go. This is a science vessel. Confirm ship. Fleet manager. What do we want now? Oh, I know. We'll go for a cool one. Go for another destroyer module. And another one on the shop. And look. We have stolen the heat ray of a Martian. We've destroyed it and mounted its head on our bow. And yeah, what should we go for? We'll go for some artillery combat modules. It adds less hull integrity to the overall ship, but they do allow us to put on multiple heat rays. So we could do that. In fact, let's just build a ship out of enemy heat rays. That seems just pretty cool. Seems pretty metal to me. And, I mean, you can mount all these on the bottom, like so. But to be completely honest, the best is just to put on a torpedo launcher, because torpedoes are good. And one of those, one of those, one of those. And there's a little issue with these icons sometimes blocking the raycasting, which I haven't touched this game in about 6 months since I've actually made this video, so sorry about that. I should probably fix that bug. And Martian Ripper. Confirmed ship. We've still got 13,000 quid, and we should probably let's build one more ship. Let's spend all our money on one more ship. I like the idea of just doing another straight up brawling combat ship, which puts all of its energy. Oh no, actually, let's reset. Let's try and build a hybrid ship, so we can have the best of both. So essentially we can have a science core, and then we can also have another command module. Put these on the side, and then we can have, therefore we get access to both kinds of mountings. We'll go for a macro turret there. In fact, yeah, if we do that, then we can basically continually draw their fire because we've got two separate funnels. We would then go for an artillery bow, put on a twin macro turret on the front. Yeah, this is looking like a powerful, chunky ship. And we can then go for an extra science module? Yeah, an extra science module. So we go for another heat ray. And... ooh. Can we go double heat ray? No, I think that's a little bit overkill. let's do that. And let's just completely fill up the rest with auxiliary weapons. And then put a railgun down there. You know what, I think that looks pretty good. Let's call it the Bellerophon. I don't know why, it just sounds cool. And yeah, this is our hybrid science big chunky boy vessel. Confirm that. And we've got a little fleet. So, there we go, strategic zoom. We can zoom out. And there is Earth. Okay, well in the next bit, I am going to enter the game. So yeah, next video.